Real Enigmas and Theories is back again with another video. I have to start this video off by saying that this is one of the dopest trailers that I've ever seen. By now, I'm sure that you've all seen it, so we're not gonna play it here. Plenty of breakdowns on YouTube already. So we're gonna pull out the magnifying glasses and go through this the Real Enigmas and Theories way. Let's start at the beginning. I'd like to point out that the trailer starts right where we left off at season 2. The very last shot was of Tabby at the window. However, this shot has been clearly redone and fresh. We can see the scratches are inconsistent, and this indicates that when we see Tabitha in season 3, her story will start in the hospital and move forward from there. I expect to hear more about the hikers that found her, how much time has passed since she was found, and what city and state she lands in. I think that she's either going to land in Massachusetts or Virginia, and we'll get to the reasons why later. There's a lot to unpack with this trailer, so I'm going to focus on what's going on with Tabitha outside of Fromily and make connections to what we already know, and show you how it adds credence to what I've been talking about on this channel all along. I'm going to grab bits and pieces that are going on within the town, but for the most part, I'm going to focus on what's going on with Tabitha in this video and cover other parts of the trailer and other videos. In a previous video of mine, I speak about how Tabby may be able to contact Julie in some way. I pointed out the drawing of Julie inside of the lunchbox that Victor gave her, and also the parallel between Tabby pulling back the curtain to the left and seeing the sun, and the curtain being pulled back to the right for Julie to look outside at the crescent moon. In Tabby's hospital room, you can see the blue and yellow cups on the counter. Blue and yellow are always used on this show. It was used many times in the last episode of season 2, but it's been used throughout the show pretty frequently. The color yellow is commonly associated with sunlight and heat, while the blue is linked to moonlight, water, and cold. Combined, these colors make green, which is associated with life or a cycle. The cup is associated with the divine feminine qualities of the womb, and the womb is shaped like a cup or grail, as in Holy Grail. If you didn't know, the Holy Grail is believed to be the cup that Jesus drank from at the Last Supper. It was also the cup used to catch the blood of Jesus during his crucifixion. The crescent moon is also associated with the cup because of its shape. And Julie was also looking up at the crescent moon, the womb. And Tabby peered at the light of the world, or the sun. Mary and baby Jesus have been depicted inside of the ancient symbol known as the Vesica Piscis. This symbol is used to depict Jesus in artwork as far back as 1097 AD and further. This symbol is relevant to the show and is actually referenced multiple times. Boyd's nickname is the main clue that ties this reflection together. Mr. Fish and Loaves is a direct reference to the biblical story of Jesus and the 2 fish, which is found in the book of Matthew, as in Tabitha Matthews or the Matthews family. Father Cottrey also references the book of Matthew. In Latin, the Vesica Piscis means bladder of the fish due to the shape of the dual circle's intersection point. I could go on about this, and I will, but we have time to do that in future videos, and I'll show a connection to all of that later on in this video. So for now, let's just keep it moving. Now, with all of these Jesus references, I'm not surprised that Tabby goes to visit a priest, which we see in the trailer. She went to visit Cottrey and lent him the question about the actual possibilities of Fromily. And with this priest, she flat out tells him that nothing she has been through is possible. For some reason, I think this priest may know something as well. I wonder if he will lie to Tabby in some way, just as Cottrey did when he lied about not being able to catch Sarah. Also, why are they in the confessional? Why couldn't they just speak out in the pews or in his office? That's just a thought. The next scene takes us right into showing us Tabby walking up to a bottle tree outside of Fromily. A man is with her, and the very next shot is of the 2 of them inside of the house in the hallway. On the wall, you can see several pictures with young Eloise and Victor. There are a couple baby pictures which indicates the age difference between the siblings. I believe the man to be Victor's father, and the photo at the very top is a family portrait. Notice the 5 photo frames surrounding the middle photo of Eloise in a gold frame. The frame looks newer than the others, meaning it could have been taken after she returned or used to just draw attention to that photo. It is the most clearest photo that we can see, actually. At first glance, she seems to be wearing the same shirt we see in Victor's memory flashback, but they seem to be a different color. That could be for 2 reasons. Maybe they did a color grading scheme to indicate that Victor was having a flashback, or it could be showing us that Victor's memories are missing details. Now we get some of the most interesting shots from the trailer, the basement shots. Let's start with the second one first. Here we have 2 paintings of the gooey kids. The painting on the left is a match to the vision that Tabitha had when her and Julie left the barn storage room after looking through the clothes. The clothing matches, along with the hair color as well. The torn dress exposing the shoulder, and they're holding hands. One has on a dress and one has on a short set. In the top right corner, we see a dark figure in one of the paintings. We've seen a few dark figures throughout Victor's drawing, and his memories aren't all there, so I wonder if he actually knows what that is, but I'm sure we'll find out. Here we have the other shot in the basement, which is one of the most interesting to me. The most recognizable part about this shot is the cave cage that Tabby seen when she was in the tunnels with Victor. We also see a painting of a shadowy figure that appears to be a Puritan from the 17th century time period, descendants from early Pilgrim settlers. Now, if you are familiar with my work on this channel, you know that I have spoken about the clues to Native American history on this show, which would most definitely be intertwined with Pilgrims and Puritans. The man that Jade sees drinking from a skull also is clothed in garments from that time period. The gooey kids also wear undergarments from this time period, and as I've stated before, I believe that this drawing of Ellis's is depicting 2 men carrying children. The children appear to be in white, and notice the frilled collar of this guy on the left. The Puritans are connected to the Salem witch trial. I remember seeing Donna tied to that tree and instantly thinking about the Salem witch trial. Those witch trials were initiated by the Puritans in 1692. 19 accused witches were hanged on Gallows Hill in 1692. An indigenous slave named Tituba was at the center of this controversy. She was the first person to confess practicing witchcraft in Salem Village. 1 month later, Tituba, as well as 2 other women in the village named Sarah Osborne and Sarah Good, were again accused of witchcraft. Long story short, Tituba's testimony was used to find 24 accused witches guilty, in which 19 were hanged and the other 5 died in custody. Tituba remained in prison until being sold to an unknown person for the price of her jail fee. Now, after seeing that shadowy Puritan painting in the basement and the Puritan we see drinking from the skull, it makes me wonder if it's connected to a phrase brought to America by the Puritan, memento mori, which means remember you must die. It became baked into the Puritan aesthetic and was a reminder to live in spite the inevitability of death. Now, with that being a large staple in the strict religious background of the Puritans and used commonly in 17th century graveyards throughout New England and the upper mid-Atlantic, makes me think about Jamestown, Virginia in the year 1609, a date that we see on the wall in Tabby's dream. In the winter of 1609 at Virginia's Jamestown colony, all of the food resources had ran out and the crops did not survive or were destroyed by Powhatan Indians. English settlers were afraid to leave the fort due to the real threat of the Powhatan. Some residents were forced to do the unthinkable by eating anything they could, including rats, shoe leather, and other settlers. The strongest evidence that this took place was the skull of a 14-year-old girl with cut marks on the bone and signs of the flesh and brain being removed. It's winter in Fromily and the food is gone. Visions of Puritans drinking from skulls. Eloise's paintings of the Puritans. That winter of 1609 was called the Starving Times. You have the skull, you have memento mori, and the date matching Tabitha's dream date in the tower. Family, I think we found a serious clue. I'm gonna make a prediction that one of the episodes will be titled The Starving Time. Another prediction is I think that Tabby is in either Massachusetts or Virginia. Now let's talk about that last painting real quick. I told you that I would circle back to the Vesica Pisces, and here we see the Vesica Pisces on this painting of a mirrored individual with a bleeding eye and mouth. This symbol is very much like what we see in the cave drawing. The apparent noses in the paintings are two vertical straight lines, and the lines on the symbol are two horizontal lines that, if layered properly, indicate another Vesica Pisces. I have seen many theories about the cave drawings, and a lot of the images on the wall are easily interpreted, or at least something that we can connect to what we have seen already. Nothing really jumped out about this particular symbol until now. The straight lines in each are deliberate, and I'm sure that we will get some answers, yet more mystery from this show. Anyway, just a little something to think about while we wait on the next episode. That's all for my video today. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.